Science Day, which is actually being organized on 28th February throughout the nation. So we from our MM Arts and Science College Sirsi, we are organizing a state level webinar today with the theme of the present year's National Science Day, that is empowering Indian youth for global leadership in science and innovation for Viksit Bharat. So for which we have a wonderful resource person, Professor M.R. Nagaraju from Bangalore. So he is a renowned popular science orator. So he is with us to address all of you. I hope this is going to be a wonderful talk. Before we begin, and I would like to request our principal, Professor G.T. Bhatt, sir, to welcome the resource person as well as all the participants that are joined here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I am audible. 28 ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿಯನ್ನು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ದಿನವಾಗಿ 1986ರಿಂದ ದೇಶಾದ್ಯಂತ ಆಚರಿಸಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಸರ್ ಸಿ.ವಿ. ರಾಮನ್ ಅವರ ನೊಬೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಪ್ರಬಂಧವು 1928ರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕಟವಾದ ದಿನ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಇಂದಿನ ಉತ್ತಮ ಬದುಕಿಗೆ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳು. ಈ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಅಪಾರ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ಶ್ರಮ ಇದೆ. ಇಂದು ಅಂತಹ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳನ್ನ, ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಗೌರವಿಸುವ ದಿನ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆಚರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಮನೋಭಾವವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗೃತಿಗೊಳಿಸುವ ದಿನವೂ ಹೌದು. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ನೊಬೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ತಂದುಕೊಟ್ಟು ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಪ್ರಗತಿಗೆ ಬುನಾದಿ ಹಾಕಿದ ಸರ್ ಸಿ.ವಿ. ರಾಮನ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸುವುದರೊಂದಿಗೆ ವಿವಿಧ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಗಳ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ದಿನವನ್ನ ದೇಶಾದ್ಯಂತ ಆಚರಿಸಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಬೆಳಕು ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪಸರಿಸುತ್ತದೆಯೋ ಹಾಗೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಇಡೀ ಮಾನವ ಕುಲಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಾವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ದಿನ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿಯೇ ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಎಂ.ಆರ್. ನಾಗರಾಜು ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳೆದ 20 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡುತ್ತಾ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನ ನಮಗೆ ನೀಡಿ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಭಾರತದ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ವಾಗ್ಮಿ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಅನುಭವಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಈ ಸಭೆಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಂದಿನ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ನಾನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಲಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿರುವ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ವಿವಿಧ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರುಗಳು, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಜನಸಾಮಾನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಾವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ತುಮಕೂರು, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ಹಾಸನ, ಮಂಡ್ಯ, ಕೋಲಾರ, ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ, ವಿಜಯಪುರ ಹೀಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ಅನೇಕ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಸೇರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಾವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳು, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗೆ ಸಹಕರಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಿ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ನೀಡ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾನೆ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming one and all. So before we proceed further with today's the main talk by the Professor M.R.N. sir, So it is my pleasure to introduce him to the one and all present here. I think Professor M.R.N. sir is not a unknown person to the gathering here, because he is a person who is dedicated himself for the communication of science throughout the Karnataka, even to the nation, and hence he is a well-known person. But uh, as a matter of gesture, I would like to make a brief note about Professor M.R.N. sir. So actually, the word professor means the one who profess is a professor. The one who profess an idea is a professor. So in that way, in a true sense, M.R.N. sir is a professor. He is a bachelor with countless number of disciples across Karnataka. He is a maverick thinker. Actually, he did a MPhil after his master degree. He didn't do PhD, but he guided several PhDs. So you can witness several such wonderful aspects if I just go through the curriculum vitae of Professor M.R.N. sir. So once he got an opportunity to get the PhD under the well-known scientist Professor C.N.R. Rao, but for some reason he couldn't continue there. But the loss in the field of deeper research has greater compensated in the field of popular science communication. So he now dedicated himself in the communication of science to the children or in the all walks of life throughout the Karnataka. So he served as a lecturer in a degree college. He served in Tumkur, Kolar, and finally in the Government Science College, Bangalore. So he retired in 2008. And in his own words, he is quite busy after his retirement. In a way, it can be called as he is retired after his retirement. He's got quite busy because he used to give several lectures across the state. So he got a first the best teacher award conferred by the government of Karnataka. And his interesting field or his versatilities in several fields like science, in all fields of science like physics, mathematics, and more than that, the languages, Kannada, and also the philosophy, both Indian and Western philosophy. He has written several books on a book on C.V. Raman, Galileo Prasangagalu, Antarikshane, Tilimana, Jivanananda, Jivanaswada. So books on related to science, books related to personality development, books on philosophy. So I think the books can be classified in several ways. So over 25 books he has written. I'm not going to read every name of the every books here. He was a honorary secretary of Karnataka Rajya Vijnana Parishatu. He was a chief. He served as a chief editor of Bala Vijnana, which is being run by the Karnataka KRVP. Of course, he was a former chief editor there. He presented his. Of course, he was a member of PU Curriculum Revision Committee in 2002, and he was a critical reviewer of TESS UK Open University, and he is a founder and inspiration for Sarasa Samvahana Samiti, a movement for seamless and selfless movement for bringing best communicating practices and motivating teachers across the state. So, as I told, I'm just briefing his biodata, but I'm going to, before I end with that one, so in my YouTube channel only has given more than 200 webinars, and every Sunday, so we are, sir is giving a talk on a different aspect, like are you Anubhavadachari, Saundarya Swarasya, and now Achara, Vichara, Uchara. So on different titles, so there are several talks are being done. And finally, I just would like to end up with one incident with which you will realize the importance of today's speaker. So, Sir happened to meet the then President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, once in Sringeri. So the organizers found it was Professor MRN is a suitable person to interact with the Kalam sir for the entire day, and sir was there with the Kalam throughout the day, and he has a wonderful interaction, and he has written a wonderful article on his interaction with the Kalam. And I would like to note that here, in the end, Kalam sir made one interesting comment. So that in his Tamil accent, he said, "Our country needs many Nagaraj." So I think that is the best citation I can make out here. So which marks the versatility of the personality that is in front of you now today. So and also I just would like to add up here. So since then I came to know about MRN sir. In 2004, he is visiting our institution. He has been guiding us in several ways. He has given over 100 lectures here. So our students are very beneficiary to have his guidance throughout. And so now today, I think so there are over 100, nearly 200 participants. They have got registered and they are on. They are taking up. They are entering the this webinar session. I hope we expect all of them are going to join. So with this brief introduction, I now request Professor MRN sir to start the presentation on the theme of this year's National Science Day, that is empowering Indian youth for global leadership in science and innovation for Viksit Bharat. So over to you, sir, and thank you one and all.
Friends, greetings to all of you. The topic, before I deal the topic, I congratulate you on behalf of MES College. 28th happens to be National Science Day in the name of Sir C.V. Raman. The theme of this year happens to be, as already been told, empowering Indian youths. So, if you want to empower youth, where to start? The two with respect to global empowerment. So that is the objective. In order to do it, we should start from the childhood. See, if you want more flowers in the plant, you cannot inject water or nutrient at the surface, but you have to give it to roots. So from root level only, we have to motivate kids and parents, because in our country, career of a student is decided not by student himself. It is mainly decided by parents. So therefore, this lecture aims at motivating public as well as students at once. Now, motivation means pro-action. Suppose you see a movie which is this animation film. So suppose a person wants to hit. So it starts from taking the arm back. That is called pro-action. Now, then we will hit. That is action. And then we will withdraw. So this preparation for hit is called pro-action. So motivation is also a sort of pro-action. I want to have the first slide. The first slide, is it visible?
Sir, I'm just putting it 1 minute.
Next slide, please. Motivation has to be done at grassroots level, I have written. That means to say, even from the primary level, a child should dream of becoming a scientist of the global standard. So if we want to have such a very ambitious aim, Kalam has said, aiming low is crime. So therefore, such ambitions have to be brought in the mind of dreaming kids. So therefore, I mean to say, starting from the primary level itself, a student should dream of becoming a great scientist. So at the primary level, what we want to have is, they have to be motivated. How to get motivated? How to see that children are motivated to science? First one as I find is, they should study about biography of scientists. So students have to study biography of scientists. There is encyclopedia of scientists, but even in degree colleges, I don't find such a book. So therefore, biography of scientists, and they have to study. Next point, please. They have to study biography. Next point, please. They have to dream. So always, all our actions start as dreams. See, unless we dream, we cannot act. That is why we have night, in which we have to dream about tomorrow's action. So therefore, the dreaming should start from the very adolescent age itself. Therefore, primary level students should be time and again reminded of dreaming big. So therefore, this is a part of motivation at the grassroots level. That is what I mean. Next one, please. In addition to dreaming, textbooks sometimes give facts. They never give history of science or motivation of science. There is a method called heuristic approach, in which a student is put in the position of a scientist, and then they are asked to solve the problem. When they try to understand any fact as a problem, then they try to solve it. So therefore, a student must be exposed to study science as question and answer, not as the question and answer of guide. But question answer form means problem and solution. So let me not call it as a problem, challenge and solution. I never like the problem because it has a negative notation. So popular science provides an opportunity for any child to think that I am solving the problem and I have a role to play here. In fact, Albert Einstein once said that he got into science. His interest in science is not because of science textbook, but it is because of popular science books. So popular science books, particularly in regional language, is very much vital in motivating kids. Next point, please. Laboratory. Laboratory is, first a child learns based on the experience of public, based on the experience of society, based on the experience imported. But remember, self-experience is much bigger than that. So therefore, we should provide laboratory facilities at the secondary school level so that they do experiment and they want to continue in the same field. Unless they are motivated with experiments, science will not be interesting. Even globally, it has become a very problematic situation. I had been to states last year. There also, students are not interested in taking up mathematics and science. Their only complaint is, it is very difficult. Because the science classroom insists on logic and not imagination. Remember, imagination is more fundamental than logic. One can kill imagination only through experiments. Therefore, laboratory plays an important role. Next point, please. Library. Library is very much vital. Many schools do not have library. I have visited many secondary schools, they do not have library. Even the schools which have library contain only books pertaining to textbook. In addition to that, we need to have books regarding history of science, books regarding the science facts, scientific facts identified in nature. So biography of scientists, so many other features which actually kindles their thought. So therefore, unless they are kindling their own imagination and their own motivation, further they will not select science. So laboratory and library are very much vital in deciding the future of a child. Take the case of C.V. Raman himself. His father had a big library. In that library only, Raman selected the book of Raleigh, to whom he calls a guru. So therefore, every home cannot have library because of the economic situation of our country. Therefore, library is very vital, and having library is not enough. We should make kids refer to library, and then whenever they have doubt, they should come to teacher. A library facilitates providing data, not only data, it builds a bridge between teacher and student, because whenever student gets confused in the textbook, in the book he reads, he will come to the teacher. So that is not happening. So that is why motivation is very poor. Only a few students dream of taking up science. You know, departments of science, they are suffering from the lack of students. Students always opt for commerce and art subjects. Why? It is because we are very much dependent upon job. So students say that this is difficult. If we read science, it is difficult. We don't get jobs. That is how they are bothered. So next point, please. Next point. So job for science students is very much needed. Unless we provide job for science students, merely appreciating, pricing, conducting webinars will not attract students, because they are always bothered about job. Middle class people believing to be a Kamadhenu, learning to be a Kamadhenu for job, their first priority is for job. Unless job opportunity is there, the students will not go for science subjects. So therefore, building a global level motivation, empowerment is different. But first they should come to study science, is it not? Even in states, they have this program, STEP, Science and Technology Enrollment Program. So unless there is enrollment, we cannot go further. Therefore, basic motivation is for motivating students to take up science. Afterwards, let them thrive in that field. But first they have to take up, is it not? So this is basic motivation. Next slide, please. See, in addition to taking up science, those who take up science also should dream of becoming something, is it not? Ideas are there ever since a human being started evolving, but we need role models to follow. So, do we have role models in science to follow? You ask any parent, they said neighboring student was taking up BE and then he got appointment, he went abroad. All those stories they will say. Nobody will tell about the stories of scientists, success stories of scientists. Nobody is going to narrate, but still that is there. There are so many people who are successful, and our country has got very interesting stories, but public is not aware of it. So therefore, what I feel is the publicity level is very poor. So therefore, nobody knows about those who succeeded in the field of science. At least for youths, appealing to them, I am giving a few examples of success stories. First illustration is through C.V. Raman, in whose name we are going to conduct this National Science Day. Actually, he proved that even Indians can do much better. Around 100 years ago, 1928, remember, 1928. Now it is 2025. what he did was, he conducted experiments in our country only, and then got Nobel Prize. There are so many people who got Nobel Prize in India, but no, all those people have gone abroad and in those laboratories they have worked. But C.V. Raman was the first person to get Nobel Prize by working in the developing country. And it was, our country was not even independent then. So even today, in the whole of Asia, not only India, in the whole of Asia, he is the only person who worked in his country only and got Nobel Prize. So this is a very big achievement. And how he could achieve it? With a negative motivation, not a positive motivation. Sometimes when you blame a child as a very dull fellow, he starts reading. So similarly, Raman took up a topic which Meckel snubbed. This cannot happen. Light moves with the velocity, very high velocity, as you know, 3 into 10 to the power of 10 meters per second. When it hits the molecule, there is no time for exchange. Hurried people will never do work properly, is it not? ಓಡ್ ಹೋಗೋ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಹಾಲ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ರಾಮನ್ ಇದಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. But Raman conducted experiment. He says that normally it is not possible, but out of 10 lakh molecules, one molecule either gives energy to a photon or takes away energy from photon. So this is the finding of C.V. Raman. That means to say, out of 10 to the power of 6, only one probability is there for C.V. Raman effect. But remember, how could he do it with such a less probability? 1 mole of molecules, 1 mole of substance contains 10 to the power of 23 molecules. When number of molecules present are more, probability, even though it is small, it can be made practically visible. Another feature is, by the time Raman conducted experiments, what happened was, there was no experimental facility. Laser was not known then. Laser came in the period of 60s, but he worked in 1928. So he conducted experiment with ordinary light, with a simple apparatus costing around 300 rupees, which can be put in the drawer of a table. So therefore, he is Gandhi among Nobel laureates. C.V. Raman happens to be Gandhi among Nobel laureates. Once his student complained, sir, our instrumentation is very poor compared to other laboratories where instrumentation is very high. Then Raman said, instrument does not matter, your motivation matters. You get motivated. I too did in the same condition almost which you are facing now. It is not the instrument that is important, it is not the investment. In addition to that, motivation is important. That is what he was telling. So Raman is known for coming out of inferiority complex and proceeding well. If you study his life history, you will come to know that he is a very good motivating person. Similarly, J.C. Bose is there. There are so many scientists. In spite of all these unfavorable situations outside and unfavorable situation inside our country, they could do wonders. So therefore, of course, J.C. Bose did not get Nobel Prize, but still the Nobel laureate had to take his help to explain his own radio. Marconi had to take the help of J.C. Bose. History of scientists is very interesting. Our students are not exposed to that. That is by the biggest problem. Next one, please. Since this nuclear blast, nuclear blast was done by India, particularly when Western countries never wanted this to happen. So they were watching us. So there are satellites moving around our country. In spite of that, we could cheat them. They could never identify what we are doing. Like that, they carried out experiments, and in the name of smiling Buddha, nuclear explosion was done in the desert. So later on, the whole world started wondering. And our country also declared, we are not having nuclear weapons to attack anybody. Just for our defense, we are having it. So the name given us also a smiling Buddha. So like that, such achievement was done because of so many people. Among them, I would like to share with you 2 figures which you know. One is Raja Ramanna. Raja Ramanna is from Hasan, Karnataka. So we should feel proud about him. And Raja Ramanna, this year is birth centenary of Raja Ramanna. So in this birth centenary year of this Raja Ramanna, I am proud to remember, and I want students to take him as a role model. He headed so many offices. He was heading TIFR and all that. And Raja Ramanna has a record. He is the only scientist who became a minister in the central cabinet. Raja Ramanna was taken as a Rajya Sabha member, and he was taken as a minister. So therefore, he had the capability of handling science and well handling people also. So he could draw the attention of public, he could draw the attention of elite, he could draw the attention of the scientists. So therefore, and remember, another aspect also I should tell, because this is a success story, he was very much interested in piano. His boss, Homi Jahangir Baba, was also interested in art. Even if you go to this BARC or TIFR, the laboratory appears like a museum. There are so many pictures there, so many sculptures there and all that. It seems Raja Ramanna was liked by Homi Jahangir Baba just because of this particular ability to handle many aspects simultaneously. So therefore, there are people whom we can emulate, we can follow. But people are not aware of such personalities. Next one, please. This figure, you know, all of you know, Abdul Kalam, APJ Kalam, he was also a part of that particular project. When I was talking to Kalam, he was telling, you are a very lucky person, you are continuously interacting with kids. I am really, I was not able to meet people because I am in a defense position, defense organization. I am not supposed to be amidst public. I started interacting with the kids only after becoming President of India. You are doing much earlier. So that is what he was regretting. So a person who has achieved the success at the global level, he regrets that I should have interacted with kids like you. That is what he says. So such great people are there in our country, but we are not making use of their inspiring work and proceed further. Next one, please. I'm brief because of time limits. So in defense, actually the spelling mistake is there. DAFNCSC, it should have been there. Kindly excuse me. There are many defense products produced in our country which are comparable to the global level. Therefore, we are not, see, when we simply read newspapers, you know, only politics and films and sports, all those things will be there. But these things will never appear and people will not take seriously at all. Therefore, don't think that India has India is lagging behind in the field of science, at least in a few areas. They have remarkable success. Among them, defense is also one. So therefore, these things we should underline. Unless we underline, self-faith, self-confidence among youths cannot emerge. It is not only confidence, it is actually even in the field of science, there needs some aggressive temperament. I can face the problem. I never consider anything as a problem. It is a challenge for me, every youth should say. So this defense is another area in which we have thrived very well. Next one, please. ISRO. See, ISRO was started as a committee in 1962. Its name was very big. INCOS PAR. INCOS PAR. It meant Indian National Committee for Advancement of Scientific Space Advancement and Research. So that was the committee formulated. In that committee, there was a peculiar person by name Vikram Sarabhai. So he proposed government that space research should be carried out by a different institution at all, an institution. Therefore, this type of committee want to do. It should be an institution by itself, he said. So then in 1969, it was renamed as ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. In 1969, remember. So first, the objective was not going to moon. Just the objective was to study atmosphere. That's all. See, when an aeroplane moves in like this, like a graph, bent graph, but vertical movement is needed to study the cross section of atmosphere. Therefore, rocket moves vertically. Therefore, instead of aeroplane, they started using rocket. Rockets were very small. So you see in this figure, this is the type of rocket which was carried first in the first few years. It was carried over a bicycle. Just 1970. Now it is 2025. Within 55 years, how much of achievement we have made? We have gone to Chandrayaan. We have moved over to Chandra, moon. Just 55 years. Its achievement globally it is acknowledged. Actually, we wanted to have cryogenic rockets. Cryogenic rockets means cryo means low temperature maintenance. If we don't maintain low temperature, the rocket gets heated up and it cannot move for a very long distance, and it has its own problems. To have cryogenic technology, India requested the help of Russia, but America intervened and Russia did not give us help. But within a span of 3 years, 3 or 4 years, we could have cryogenic technology. You may say Chandrayaan is very late. NASA had reached the moon much earlier. But remember, even after the late approach, we have done it in a very economic way and a very ingenious way compared to other moon missions. So therefore, we should not forget such things. And the success was because of so many people contributing it. As I told you, it was the vision of Vikram Sarabhai. Vikram Sarabhai itself is a peculiar person. His wife was a dancer. His daughter was an actor. His actress. His son was a scientist. And he had a very busy schedule because he was a member of so many committees, particularly with respect to the progress of our country. In spite of all that, even he has established Vikram Sarabhai Science Center at Ahmedabad, wherein layperson should participate in science. He should come to know about it. Now we have Vishweshwaraya Museum, but there, even public can come there and conduct experiments. So therefore, even popularizing science also was a part of the dream of Vikram Sarabhai. And he left a legacy. Later on, people who followed these things were many. For example, Satish Dhawan. Satish Dhawan was a peculiar person who could accept every defeat and then take the responsibility of overcoming it. So Kalam had so much of appreciation for Satish Dhawan. Kalam and other people whom we now appreciate, they are because of the traditional legacy which the ISRO has built up. So therefore, such things are more than enough to motivate youths. But those data are not properly put in the minds of kids. So we have to struggle to do it. So this National Science Day is a means from which we can manage. Next point, please. Next, COVID vaccine Berlila. Earlier one. One more. This is it. During COVID, making use of the disastrous disease, a pandemic, many rich countries gave loan to poor countries. They almost tried to own the country. But in our country also we made a vaccine and freely distributed, and the image of our country increased. So therefore, let us not think that our country has no ability to do all those things. Only problem is whatever we do is not being reflected in media at the global level. So therefore, amidst all arts and complaints we have, we are certainly we have certainly achieved so many things which should motivate our youngsters and overcome their phobia. Phobia means fear without reason. We do not know the reason, but still we are afraid. So our country people always have inferiority complex and phobia because we were only we had poverty, we had the rule of other countries, we were only subordinate to other countries. Therefore, we have such phobia, we have to overcome. This is a high time for us to come out of our own phobia. Next one, please. Opportunity. So opportunity will not come in search of us. We should go in search of opportunity. How do we get opportunity when such a peculiar situation is there globally, you may ask. Certainly, I will tell you, science always poses challenges. When it poses challenges, it will not pose challenge to America. It will not pose challenge to Russia. It will not pose challenge to Germany. When a problem arises, you took the example of COVID, is it not? So what was the every country tried to find out the solution as early as possible so that the survival of human beings is improved. So therefore, opportunity always will be there, but the mind which seeks for such opportunity, every problem is a challenge for an optimist, every challenge is a problem for pessimist. Unless we come out of the pessimism, you will not see the opportunity, you will worry. See, this is a big problem. Pandemic, public were worried, but scientists were busy. That is the point I wanted to tell you. Opportunity implies so many things. Next point, please. Dynamism. Dynamism implies two things. One, dynamism in the society. Society is facing new problems every day. Problems are many. In addition to that, new problems are added. That is dynamism of society. Even the dynamism of scientists. Scientists, instead of doing one problem throughout his lifetime and repeating the same thing through his students, let him take up the dynamic problems, challenges taken up by his students, and let him come out with a new dimension for the own research they have carried out. There must be some underline for public utility. Next one, please. Eternal challenges. So challenges never end up. Is it not? When soap was produced, earlier we were depending upon soap nut. Soap was produced, people were happy. But some people cried. See, when for preparation of soap, so much of oil is wasted. But in hard water, the soap does not work properly. Then detergent was produced by scientists. When detergent was given to public, they are once again complaining that it is not decomposing, it is not biodegradable. Now we are having biodegradable detergent also. Eternal posing is by society, eternal solving is by scientists. Therefore, if you want to solve the problem, you study history of science and the tireless approach of scientists, certainly we get enthused. I am always of the fact that if I am enthusiastic, because it is because that I have studied history of science and what is going on in the field of science. So therefore, pessimism of our country can be shaken only by studying science, because in other cases, we always focus on success. Here, even after success, there is another problem. So such problems are solved by scientists. Therefore, as a student of science, as a teacher of science, I appeal to you to take this opportunity and instill challenges so that enthusiasm becomes eternal. Next. Incidental challenges. When we start doing something, then only we will come across a new problem. So such problems are also lessons for us to review the situation. So every new crisis we face will should be taken as recreation, and then that recreation will recreate us. So we are not, whenever we face crisis, we start brooding or worrying. So brooding and worrying is of no use. You should take it as a recreation. All right, I have solved so many problems. Now also I will take this as and solve it. So such a type of incidental challenges have to be taken. You take for example that nuclear blast itself. When the rest of the world is objecting that we should not do nuclear weapons, when they are having nuclear weapons, we should not do it. Such a challenge was taken up by Raja Ramanna and his group. So therefore, these examples are success to all these success stories have this dynamism, this eternal challenge, this incidental challenge. So these two are linked. I don't have time to link many of the researches, but I appeal to you to read and find out such features in those things. Next, precedences. Precedences means previous examples. Based on previous examples only we proceed. You take for example, I told you C.V. Raman worked only in two areas, sound and light. He worked on sound because his father was having a violin, and he was interested in classical music. So that precedence made him to study about science of musical instruments. He proved that Indian musical instruments have a greater melody than Western Western musical instruments. He proved in terms of frequency and other aspects of physics of musical instrument. The second one, study. When he started studying about light because he was interested by the subject, the book written by Rayleigh I told you earlier. Why sea is blue? Rayleigh's answer was, it reflects the sky. Sky is blue, therefore sea water is blue. Raman did not accept that. You take just a small quantity of sea water and hold it in your palm. Then it reflects sky better. It is not blue in color. It will not, sea water is not blue in color if you take this much. But if the depth is there, then only it becomes blue. Why is it so? That question was put. And then he became Guruvanu Minchina Shishyudu. So therefore, Shishyadichet Parajayam. So he could find out, he could probe further. The inspirer is lagging behind, but the student is going further. So all these precedences and lacunae of precedences helps us to find out new answers. And success of precedence promote our enthusiasm to proceed further. Therefore, all precedents need not be success only. Even failure is a lesson, success is a lesson. Philosophy says that. Don't bother about failure or success. What you can do now, take it as a challenge and do it. You don't look back, you look forward. Failure, okay, I will try to solve that problem. That temperament is lacking in our society itself. Therefore, it has to be seriously taken. Next one, please. In chemistry, there is a principle called Le Chatelier principle. Whenever I say positive points, you start reacting in terms of negative points. There's a peculiarity, not only in nature, even in our nature also, is it not? If you praise a person as a very good person, I'm not so good, he will say. If you blame him, no, I am not that bad, I am also good, he says. So like that, whenever I tell you success stories, immediately your mind starts thinking, this fellow is hiding problems. There are problems. He does not know about the problem that you will say. So that's why I have taken the next stage as problems. I am very clear about problems. I will narrate one by one, not to blame anybody, but to attack those problems and see that we come out of the problem. Problem, if you blame, it is only oral fight. That does not give you any result. Only physical fight and try to root out the problem is very much important. First problem itself is public indifference. Public do not know about science, do not know about scientists. When once we say science, they become freezed. It is beyond my ability. I don't know anything about science. If you tell, suppose I were to speak about a poetry, more number of people would have appreciated it. But if I speak about science, many people will move away. So therefore, we have to impress public that nature is not for mere enjoyment. It is there for enjoyment and encroachment to solve our problems. We have to encroach in nature to some extent to solve our problems. That second component we are lacking. Next one, please. Pupils' prejudice. This is there even in America. I have interacted with many students. They say it is very difficult to study science and mathematics. Why should we suffer? I told them, unless you suffer, you will not get. Suppose you just plant a rose plant, it will grow and give flowers much earlier. But rose is not enough. We need coconut also. We need areca also. You have to learn to wait, learn to labor and to wait. But students want immediate solution to their problem. If they score well, they should immediately get job. If they go to job, they should get immediate promotion. Everything should be immediate. So that will not happen in science. Science and agriculture. As I know, science and agriculture both teach us to face problems and be silent till we reach that particular point. Next. Public opinion. Nowhere in our country, public speak making use of the concept of science or concept of nature. Everything is discussed in terms of money only. We never discuss in terms of science or the consequences of using nature, misusing nature, disusing nature. Such things we never find. You just watch whenever you move in a vehicle, public vehicle, say bus, people will be speaking about what? You just watch what they speak. There is not even a single science term or the problem pertaining to nature, society, never. Next. Financial crunch. So, even if government wants to implement scientific program, immediately we will say, there are so many hungry people. We have to consider them, not the financial problem. There is so much of financial crunch. How can we overcome that? If we spend money on science and technology, it will help only rich people. Such bias is there. So therefore, this is a very big problem. Next slide, please. Continue. And then there is divisive forces. So since democracy, a ruling party will be there, rest of our opposition. Oppositions people never cooperate or encourage ruling people. Suppose the government reverses, then also opposing people will not cooperate. In a sense, the very setup which we have today in our country always keeps away some of the people just for commenting. They will not give solution. They will go on giving problems. Therefore, in order to invest in science, there must be support of the whole country. Therefore, this system itself is not favorable for that. Second, next. Lack of intellectual adventure. Whenever I say adventure, climbing the hill, swimming over the sea, all those things are considered. Fighting are all considered as adventure, but intellectual adventure, people are not at all aware of that. There is a book by name Adventures of Ideas by Whitehead. I always show that book to people. See, ideas also have adventure. There will be opposition from the prejudices of other people. So every scientist has to fight the prejudice of people. Many people have committed suicide since they could not convince other scientists. After their death, it is being appreciated. Many people, young, Max Planck, many people, they were almost mad. Newland, he committed suicide. So therefore, you don't think that it is a very funny game. Science is not a very funny game. It is fighting. See, any learning is fighting with our own bias. We can fight with our bias, but we can fight with the bias of the community is very difficult. It is an adventurous task. Next one, please. Lack of public image. So scientists never are considered very important. I remember when Professor C.N.R. Rao was given Bharat Ratna Award along with Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar was projected. I don't envy Sachin Tendulkar. But what about C.N.R. Rao? Now just think of this one, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan awards. Folklore people will very easily get. Poets will very easily get, but not scientists. Whenever there is a river dispute, if a committee is formed, poets will be there, popular figures will be there. They will not be knowing basic aspects of geology or hydrology, but no scientists. So this is a situation because among the judiciary people, bureaucrats and politicians, people with a scientific background are very less in number. That itself is a very big problem for the progress of science. Next one, please. Some of these are global problems. Don't think that our problem is for us only. If you go and see what is happening throughout the country, you will certainly understand that the problem is there in other countries also. Therefore, when others are also facing the same problem, at least in our individual level, we have to do something. In our public level also, we should do something. Next one, please. So when they have success, when they have problems, the next point is promotion. How to promote this particular thing to happen? How to promote, how to encourage those who are successful? How to curb those who are always complaining and degrading the success? So that you have to do it. So the first point I wanted to highlight is you study globally. What is going on around us? In which direction research is taking place, we have to consider. Then only we should think of our theme of research. Therefore, this is very important. See, now globally, we are very much particular about artificial intelligence. There are already so many sensors which sense pressure, sensors which sense temperature, sensors which sense chemicals. All those are there. But still, we need so many new sensors which are more sensitive, which are more stable, and all that. Therefore, study of sensors is a very vital topic throughout the globe. So such things we have to consider. Next. Collaboration with beneficiaries of research. Research is not just for enjoying nature. It is deriving benefit. Now, really, Raman was the last natural philosopher. Now, research workers are they are fighting for their survival. For their survival, they need patent. To get patent, they should work on those topics which fetch some return. Therefore, collaboration with beneficiaries of research is very much important. Such collaboration is there already, but it has to be intensified. Any research problem to be approved, it has to have this particular dimension. That is, they should always think of the benefits which sustain the enthusiasm of research. See, to kindle enthusiasm is one thing. To sustain enthusiasm is second. Sustaining is a bigger problem than kindling, is it not? Sustaining is very important. Next. Incentives. So there must be sufficient incentives for those researchers which either helps defense or helps improving the condition of people or helps doing something useful to the community. Next one, please. Crisis management. We should not be afraid of a crisis. Crisis is a teacher. So whenever we face a crisis, we should not think on the impact of crisis. You should always focus on solving the crisis. I had an occasion to work with Professor A.K.N. Reddy, who was responsible for Astra, application of science and technology to rural areas. He used to say, It is very easy to become a part of the problem. We become a part of the problem when once we hear about a problem. But that will not solve the problem. We should become a part of the solution. So we should, when once you say problem, how to solve it. That should be our concern, not the what would happen. This time one crisis I have met. What would happen if 5 crises come together? That thought should not be there. That is a negative thinking. Positive thinking is crisis management should be the focus, not the to become a part of the solution is important than to describe the problem in a very colorful way and threatening others and getting threat by ourselves. Next. Next is funding. Earlier, during the period of Galileo, without a watch, you making use of his pulses, he could prove the laws of simple pendulum without watch. Remember, but now it is not so. Scientific study implies engineering skill, instrumentation skill. Instrument means we have to invest money. Who has to invest money? It will fetch results and the benefit will come later. But initial investment, who has to do it? So now, looking at the Nobel Prize this year, I believe that even engineering institutions and pure science institutions cannot work separated. They have to work together, because this year this one Nobel Prize in Chemistry is because of making use of artificial intelligence to predict the possible proteins which are not available in nature. So therefore, that is why I am insisting on global studies, and even education has to be revamped. Science people should learn some basic technology. Earlier, a person who draws picture is a painter, but now he should know using a computer. Is it not? Computer graphics he should know. A singer should make use of technology. If that is the case, a science student also should know technology. Many students come to me and tell me, sir, I want to do research in science. I always tell them basic vocabulary of computers and basic vocabulary of technology of instrumentation. If you do not have, even if you score very well in the pure science question and answer question paper examination, it will not help you for your research. Next one, please. Inculcation of heroism. So there must be some sort of heroism. Youths are always adventurous. So that spirit of fight must be properly channeled, and that heroism should not only be there for fighting mutually in the name of religion, in the name of art, in the name of culture and all that, that we have to fight with the lies which we believe, which everyone believes. So therefore, there are so many lies, community lies and individual lies. Both have to be fought. Next. Publicity of achievements. Media is boosting only the activities of this one, such activities with public, like they say. We are dancing to the tune of public. But remember, it is the media that has to alter the taste of public also. If they go on just pleasing the viewership, TRS, that something they will say, is it not? Viewership, if they want to just improve, they are not improving the attitude or taste of public. That who has to do it then? We are corrupted by media, and the media says we are not responsible. Public like that we will do it, they will say. Next. Revision of current procedure. So now the scientific research is going on. The problem is we repeat the same thing. Bromination of ether. Next, bromination of ethyl ether. One group change it and then carry out research. Such research will not fetch anything. So therefore, now those who take up research, those who guide research, they have to think twice about the implications and applications which are there. Next one, please. Whenever there is some achievement, many a times non-science people study the problem and try to solve the problem, they are rewarded. So therefore, rewarding is very much important. Next one. Overseeing authority. There must be somebody to endorse the scientific research problem taken up by a particular person. This is very difficult, I know it. But still, if you don't do it, innovative research that can be globally sold. It is very easy to be good, but it is very difficult to be called good. So similarly, we have to compete with the global problems, means the problems for research just for the sake of PhD should not be allowed. Therefore, there must be some overseeing authorities so that they monitor only useful research. Next. Viksit Bharat, we said, is it not? If Bharat has to Vikas, all our studies, whatever course you take up, you always think of job. That's all. Job begging education is there. We need job providing education. Entrepreneurship means taking risk, taking people. So selling our dreams to many so that other people come and invest. The preview that interview was there. I think I have seen it. I have insisted on that. Public should come to know about this. They should participate in such programs and then should know entrepreneurship. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, there needs so much of support from public, investors, and then accounts keepers, auditors, all those things, all those people we need. Therefore, everyone, the very entrepreneur cannot handle economics of the adventure. So therefore, there must be coordinated effort. So for coordinated efforts, everybody should look towards science, because novel idea is from science, but its nurture is from public of various fields. That is there. Even advertisement people are needed. Otherwise, people always suspect new product. So how can an entrepreneur grow? Therefore, this is very important. Friends, now I have come to the end of it. The end of the lecture, the title was Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat, whenever you want to have Viksit Bharat, what are the criteria? I will briefly consider. Now, next slide, please. Vikas means evolution and not a sudden change. If there is a sudden change, for that you have to accommodate, that's all. But evolution is always slow. There is no quick solution for any problem. But nowadays, people are desperate. When once they invest, they want to get back the money. Suppose you go to a job. Immediately, after 1 month, you will get the salary. But in agriculture, it is not like that. To get to reap the benefit of your agriculture, you have to wait for many days. Longfellow said, learn to labor and to wait. Nowadays, people are impatient. They are not able to wait. So that itself is creating so many problems. Therefore, for Viksit Bharat, we have to wait and see the progress. But within 5 years, we have to change the government. Now, within 5 years, they want to show to public that we have progressed this much. But scientific progress, to compare with the global level, it is a very slow process. It is not a sudden process. Some aspects are sudden, but science is not like that. Next. Favorable environment. So we need some favorable environment and people to wait and see. ISRO, actually the whole globe is wondering at ISRO, because within 50 years, rocket being carried by cycle is now leading to Mars. That means to say, see the progress, rate of progress in that ISRO. So such progress should take place in other fields also. Government supported ISRO project, but beneficiaries are public also. So without our satellites, we would not have conducted this webinar at all. So all those benefits come, they come later, you have to wait. But until then, we have to wait. So that art of waiting is that is more to be found in agriculture and science. So therefore, science is almost like agriculture. Next. Forced blossom and expecting quick results spoil. Suppose you want to get results very quickly. ಮೊಗ್ಗನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅರಳುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಬೇಗ ಬಾಡೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So any quick result will not long lasting. So therefore, we should learn to labor and to wait. Next. Then only Vikasita Bharat is possible. So what are our aims? We have to reduce our imports so that our foreign exchange is saved. And then next, our research should enhance exports so that we gain profit. Then research should suit to the market. And then patent. Patent was opposed. Those who did not take patent were appreciated earlier. Suppose X-ray were to be patented, Ranjan would have been the richest person in this world. He did not do it. He did do it. He offered it to public. But now, during Ranjan time, the experimental research was not that costly. But now, experimental research is so costly. People always blame India did not get Nobel Prize even after 75 years of independence and all those things. It does not reflect on the individual ability. It depends upon investment. It depends upon monitoring the research projects, global study, all those things which I have discussed hitherto. So all these things, without all these things, we cannot proceed further. Friends, I think I did not exceed my time limits, but now it is my luck to be with you for 1 hour 20 minutes. Now I would like to listen to you people. We always interact with kids because we want to listen to them. We want them to speak. So now I want you to speak about the topic I have spoken. Let us have interaction with each other. You can either give the impression about the lecture, or if you have any inquiries, you can put. If I cannot answer your question in a minute or two, because some need elaboration, so you can write to me, and then please write a self-addressed stamped envelope. Put a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I will answer and post it to you. Thank you. Now this is the address. You take down the address and make use of it if you feel like so. But now it is time for you to interact. I take this opportunity to Sirsi College staff, principal, and organizers who have taken so much of effort to carry out this program. This year's theme, people thought that this cannot reach the public. Anyway, I have tried my level best to make it understandable by many. And it may be a success or failure, but to me, both are lessons. It is time for you to respond.
So you can take a screenshot and of this slide so that you can contact sir later also.
I am seeing many claps. I am grateful to those who appreciated it.
So if anybody have any question or if you would like to speak, please raise your hand. Okay. Kalpana B is like to ask something, please. Please just unmute yourself and speak. Sir, you told learn to labor and wait. Sir, actually, whose statement is this, sir?
This is a poem by H.W. Longfellow. The title of the poem is Psalm of Life. PSALM, Psalm means prayer. Psalm of Life. That is the this one. Title of the poem. It is a line from that poem. That poem is very nice, creating optimism about life. Be not like a dumb driven cattle. Be a hero in the strife, he says. Very nice set of poems. Psalm of Life by H.W. Longfellow. I think he is an American poet. Any other persons who want to speak? Please raise your hands so that Ganesh opens your this one microphone. Oh, question and answer is not available in Teams, it is said.
Sir, actually now I allowed all to all the.
But anyway, here I got a message that the question and answer is not available in Teams. That is what it says.
Check it, sir.
Lowering your hand in a few seconds, we noticed you have spoken. Keep it raised. Something it is coming.
Now my mic is allowed to all of you. So anybody would like to speak, you can just unmute yourself and talk to sir.
You can give your opinion also.
Sir, I have one small question. It's not a question
Yes.
actually. So would you please elaborate your interaction with Kalam sir in because we would like to know how about that and your interaction with the Kalam sir.
Okay. We discussed about many aspects. He was curious about me and I was curious about him. Both of us wanted to interact with each other. So there was a sort of competition. Then I wanted to initiate the debate. So it told, you have given an expansion for the word fail. Fail is first attempt in learning. That is what you have said. I have a different expansion, I told him. Then asked, I am curious, what is your expansion? Then I told him, first attempt is last. That is what I told him. Then, all right, that is also an expansion. How it is, it improves my expansion. That is what he asked. Then I told him, first impression is last. Yeah, there can be two spellings, LAST and LOST. If some person says first attempt is last, it means that he is pessimistic, he will never try again. If the first attempt is LOST, if they write first attempt is last, I can try second attempt. So he is optimistic. Those who write the spelling LAST is pessimistic, LOST is optimistic, because first is last, that's all. There are second attempts and second and third attempts. I told him. Then, oh, did you try this? He asked. Then I told him, I tried with both students and teachers. I am eager to know the result. How is it? Then I told him, teachers are more pessimistic than students. Many teachers write first attempt is last, LAST. But still, there are teachers who write LOST also. But the ratio of these things among students and among teachers, students are more optimistic and teachers are slightly less optimistic, I told him. Immediately he felt very happy. Therefore, now it is high time, Sir Nagaraj, we have to inspire teachers to go beyond the optimism of students. Still, in spite of all our misgivings, students still have faith among students. Let us try to do it. That is what he said. So this is one such interaction which I had. Another one that was shocking to me is this. While we were discussing about something else, he said, a dynamic person should die while he is doing his deed. So much of rhyming sentence he told. But I consider so it is his verbal ability. But when he died, when he was giving lecture, he died. So he proved what he said. So that is even today, it thrills me. How is it that his mind worked and he died while doing his deed? I do not know. Please give your feedback, and if you have questions, address is there. At least I will get your feedback and questions you please write to me.
Rudresh Badigir, you can just unmute and you can speak. ರುದ್ರೇಶ್ ಬಡಿಗೆ ಅವರು ತಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಾವು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
Sir, lecture space is very nice, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Sir, one doubt. What is hard work in your opinion, sir?
Huh?
What is hard work? Hard work.
There is no such thing as hard work. When we are motivated, hard work is also a fun. When it becomes hard work, when we are not properly motivated, when we are totally scared of results, we are attached to results. When we are attached to results, we cannot work so conveniently. Therefore, it appears to be troublesome. But when once you start doing it and when we are motivated properly, a person with proper motivation, crisis is not a crisis at all. As I told you already, crisis is a lesson. Success is a lesson. Failure is a lesson. Therefore, enthusiasm is it's a fountain that never ends. So hard work is there because we have self-pity about ourselves. I have done so much, nothing has happened. So immediately we develop pity about ourselves. Then work becomes harder and hardest also. It's a matter of attitude.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
ಆದಿತ್ಯ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಕಟ್ಟೆ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
Hello, sir. The lecture
Hello,
was very good.
Huh?
The lecture was
Aditya
very
Hegde avare.
Hello.
Hello, ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳಿ.
Okay. So my question was regarding your observation, where you found that students are more optimistic and teachers were found to be more pessimistic. What do you think is the reason behind it?
Reason always is a singular in grammar, but there are many reasons. Anyway, but it's a statistical truth. There are optimistic teachers also, but number is slightly more. Whenever it is a statistical truth, finding reason needs research. Whatever answer I give, it becomes just my imagination, because whenever there is a community opinion, it involves so many factors. But it can be improved. Continuously monitoring with teachers and monitoring with students. Even students' level of optimism also has to be increased. Both should increase. So there must be some motivating plans that can improve only the opinion. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
ಸಮೀರ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸಮೀರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. My question is whether AI, sir, that is artificial intelligence, is it going to replace human beings, or else it will be a key tool for the upbringing of the human kind, sir?
It will not replace human beings, but it is going to hamper creativity of human beings. That much is very much true. Because as a fashion we are going for artificial science, and there are some advantages, but we are not aware of disadvantages which we have. Take for example, we have driverless car, chefless kitchen, pilotless aeroplane and all that. Whenever we become self-reliant and depending upon the machine, the interrelation between human beings is cut off. So that negative impacts of artificial intelligence we have to seriously consider before going for artificial intelligence. But we are in a hurry to have artificial intelligence. It is very early to decide about the negative and positive impacts of artificial intelligence. Any scientific discovery for that matter, it will have benefit is projected. We will accept that benefit. But the problems come later, is it not? Where, see, when you take a new pair of shoes, it looks very good, but it starts pinching only when we walk. So like that, impact of our artificial intelligence, it is debated, but still debates are based on guess only and not ground realities.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
ದಿವ್ಯಾ ಗಾಂವ್ಕರ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, recently I had read an article about talent drain in India. So the article was about students who are from top educational institutions and doing better. They go abroad and they never return. So how does this talent drain will affect in Viksit Bharat? Towards Viksit Bharat, sir?
Okay. You have already written an article. Think over it. It is not the personal talent that is lacking. It is the personal coordination that is lacking. It is because of so many reasons. It seems there was a person by name A.P. Venkateshwaran. He said, 1,000 lions led by a donkey is going to fail, going to get defeated when 1,000 donkeys are led by a lion. So therefore, leading person, if he is not proper, he can compensate the weakness of masses. But when the leading person is weak, even if this, even the team, if it is strong, he cannot manage. There are so many hurdles in identifying talent and using talent. That's why once again I would like to quote Venkateshwaran. It is better to have brain drain instead of brain going to drain. That is what he used to say. Brain, instead of going to drain, let there be brain drain. At least going there, they will do something useful work. So you take, for example, even the case of what is that Nobel laureate S. Chandrasekhar. S. Chandrasekhar got Nobel Prize, is it not? He wanted to return his scholarship and he wanted a job here. But when he came to India, he was not treated properly. So he decided not to come to India. You can read that book by name Chandra, written by Ishwar or so. You read his biography, you will come to know about it. Therefore, setup is very much corroding here. Therefore, as you said, the people who go there become talented. Another interesting fact, I think it interests you. See, first generation people who go to Western America and other countries, they thrive well. Then, in the next generation, the talent will not be there. They are comfort mongers. So, in India, because of poverty, we are ready to take risks and suffer. But then when once you reach the comfort zone, ability to suffer goes, ability to be creative also goes. Therefore, in India, we are progressing, is it not? We are facing the problem of abundance and problem of scarcity simultaneously. If there is a problem of abundance, if the problem of abundance becomes dominant, creativity of people in our country also comes down. This actually American research they have carried out and they realized this. In our country, people are not creative or they are able to cope up with the problems because we are all addicts to comfort zone. That is the research finding says. I think I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are student, Divya?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In which class you are studying?
Sir, I'm studying BSc second year.
Okay, you have written an article while studying second
No,
BSc.
sir,
I congratulate you.
Sir, I had read the article in newspaper, not
You have
written
read
that.
that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Try to write. I will be there
Sir?
with you, supporting you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Anybody else?
So we can wait 1 more minute if anybody would like to speak.
Sir, I had a question.
Yes. Your
It
name,
was
sir?
it
Your
is a
name?
last question, but my name is Aditya.
What are you doing, Aditya?
I am studying BSc first year. I just finished
Very
my.
good, very good. Tell me your question.
The question was, which is one of the research subject that is, or sorry, topic that is going on recently that you think could change human lives in 20 years or 30 years, sir?
This is a question in futurology, but as I feel now, the future of our nation depends upon maintaining the environmental health. We are worried about personal health, financial health, but not environmental health. That research which helps us to sustain the natural resources and reduce pollution and maintain the environmental health, that is going to be useful for the whole biosphere, not only man. From practical perspective. I already told, is it not? It is not the financial health I am speaking. I am not speaking of the social health. I am speaking about the environmental health, which is badly being ignored. Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, sir, shall we close? Or would you like to add up anything, sir, finally?
Nothing. I appreciate the enthusiastic participation of around 80 people. And I wish others also will go through the video and give their feedback. I thank the institution, that is MA's College Sirsi, for having given this opportunity. Time and again you are giving this opportunity to me, and please get me the feedback so that I too can grow with you people. That is it.
Yes, sir. And I would like to tell all the participants that we are now just going to post the feedback link in the WhatsApp group that you have already joined. So all of you, please fill your feedback response, and also there is a space for detailed writing also, apart from the just clicking. So you can just write your entire comment there. So do fill the feedback form and submit it. Based on that, we are going to give you the participation certificate also. And also, I would like to tell that this video, this session has been completely recorded, so which is going to be put in our college YouTube channel shortly, and that also will be made available general public. So, sir, it was a wonderful talk on this occasion of National Science Day. So you went through the different points like motivation, success story, opportunity, problems, and then promotion, and then the Viksit Bharat. So you mentioned a lot of things. Hope this is really motivating to all our youngsters here. And also the final question and answer session was also very good. There were good questions here. And It was nicely answered by you. Sir, we thank you for this wonderful webinar on behalf of our college and on behalf of all the participants gathered here. So thank you one and all. Thank you, sir, and also I thank all the participants and all the faculty members joined from various colleges and various walks of life. So thank you one and all. And again, I request all of you to fill the feedback form, and your certificates will reach you in about a week's time. So we'll be sending your certificates through the email that you have provided to us. So it will not be sent to your WhatsApp. So you please note that it will be sent to your email ID that you have written in the registration form. I hope you have correctly written that one. So in a week's time, it will be it will be sent to you. So thanks again for participating in this webinar. Thank you, sir, and thank you one and all.
Thank you.